My name is Jim. I am 73 years old. I am not here to play the wise man. I am here because I once lay on a cold hospital bed, listening to the machine beside me go, and I realized something. When that beep goes quiet, no business card can save you. No title will hold your hand. Only the people you love and the things you let slip away. I'm about to say something that might make your throat tighten. But if it tightens your throat, then maybe you still have time. When I was 52, I was sitting in a meeting. That room smelled like old coffee and printer paper, pressed shirts, open laptops. Everybody talking about this quarter and next quarter, talking about growth. I remember the wall clock clear as day. The second hand kept hopping along, steady and stubborn, like it did not care whether a man lived or died. Then, out of nowhere, my chest tightened. Not the sharp, dramatic kind of pain you see in a movie. It was weight, like someone set a sack of cement right on my rib cage. Sweat poured out cold, even though the room was air-conditioned. I tried to stand, but my legs went soft like wet rope. My mouth opened, but the words would not come. I remember someone calling my name. I remember a chair scraping back hard. Then everything dropped into a black pit. I woke up in the hospital. White ceiling lights, so bright they hurt my eyes. The sting of antiseptic clawing at my nose. Tape on my arm. Wires everywhere. My mouth dry like sand. And in the corner of the room, my wife sat there. Her eyes were red, her shoulders curled inward, her hands twisting together like she was trying to keep something from breaking. She was not crying loud. She was crying the swallowed kind. The kind where you do not want to bother anybody, but your heart cannot hold it anymore. I looked at her, and I thought something terrible. I thought, I did this to her. Not the heart attack. My whole life. My whole life, I made her wait. Wait for me to come home for dinner. Wait for me to have time. Wait for me to be done with work. Wait for me to live like a husband, not like a machine that goes to work. The doctor said I was lucky. I managed one small laugh, and then the tears came on their own. Not from pain, from understanding. I had been standing right at the edge. Lying there through a very long night, when the hospital was as quiet as a graveyard. I heard the nurse's footsteps down the hall. I heard the cartwheels clacking. I heard that machine keep on beeping, steady and uncaring. And I kept thinking about one phrase I had lived on for years. Later. I lived on that word. Later, I will call my father. Later, I will take my wife out to eat at the diner we know. Later, I will play with the kids. Later, I will rest. Later, I will write the book I always talked about. Later, I will go to Japan. Later, I will say, I am sorry. You know what is scary. Later sounds harmless. It is like tossing your coat on a chair and thinking you will hang it up in a minute. But life is not a coat. Life is a glass cup. You set it down careless a few times, and then one time it falls, and it shatters. You cannot glue it back together. I used to think success was the finish line. I climbed that ladder for 30 years. I got what people call good on paper, a house, a car, a reputation, the kind of life that makes strangers nod like you did it right. But when I was lying in that hospital bed, I looked back and asked myself, if I die today, what do I actually leave behind? A decent house out in the suburbs, sure. But is there laughter in it? Or is it mostly the sound of a television? A retirement account, sure. But can I buy back one evening when my kid was little, sitting around waiting for me to come home and read a story? Number. A nice business card, sure, but that card cannot wrap its arms around my wife when she is shaking. I had a friend who worked 70 hours a week, the kind of man who was always saying, I am busy, I am running, I am grinding. He built a big company, he made a lot of money, but he never took a real vacation. Even when he was away, he was still opening his email like a bad habit. He used to say, next year, I will slow down. Next year came, and he had a stroke. At his funeral, his son stood up to speak. The boy's voice broke into pieces, like he was swallowing rocks. He said, my dad was a successful man, but I barely knew who my dad was. The room went dead quiet. The kind of quiet where you can hear somebody take a breath. I sat there and felt cold all the way through. Because I understood. That kid did not hate his father. He just did not have memories. He did not have a dad at home. He had a man who left early and came back late, over and over, until the story ran out. When you are young, you fear failure. When you are past 50, you start fearing something else. You fear becoming a burden. You fear the day tying your shoes gets hard. You fear a fall in the bathroom. You fear the look in your grown child's eyes when the conversation turns into doctors, prescriptions, bills, insurance. In America, you hear Medicare and Social Security, and you feel two things at once: relief and worry. Because it helps, but it does not make you young again. I will tell you the truth. I was afraid too. And that is why I regret the small things more than the big things. Not the business deals that went sideways. People forget those. What keeps me up at night is the quiet. The trip I promised my wife. When things settle down, we will go. Then one day I noticed how much gray had moved into her hair, and I still had not taken her anywhere that felt like a real yes. The time my kid performed at school. They stood on that stage and looked down into the crowd, searching for me. I said I would be there. I meant it. Then work grabbed me by the collar. I showed up late. I only saw them walking off the stage, trying to smile, but something in their eyes dimmed just a little. You know that little. It does not scream. It just pulls inward. And you do not get that moment back. And my father. My father died when I was 45. Our relationship was not easy. Too many things left unsaid. Too many dinners filled with silence. Too much pride sitting between us like a brick. I kept thinking, when I am less busy, I will talk to him. I kept thinking, there will be time. Then one day the phone rang. A voice on the other end said, your father is having a heart attack. I drove to the hospital like a fool, like a man trying to outrun something that was already happening. The hallway was long. The lights were white. My shoes slapped the floor like a hammer. I got there, and he was lying in that bed, his face gray. I took his hand. His hand was cold, light, like a dry branch. I had 1,000 sentences in my head. I had, I am sorry. I had, I love you. I had, I was wrong. But my throat felt locked. I only said one useless thing. I said, Dad, I am here. He did not answer. And the worst part came after. Not the funeral day, the ordinary days. Sunday afternoon. You walk past the phone and you forget for half a second, and then you remember you do not have a number to call anymore. You open your contacts, your finger goes looking for his name, and then it hits you. There is no one left to pick up. That kind of gone is not loud. It just sits there, like an empty chair in the house. You look at it again and again, and you never really get used to it. After my heart attack, I changed. But it was not some pretty movie moment where you wake up enlightened and everything turns clean and simple. I changed through small things, because real life only gives you small things. I started keeping my pillbox right there on the table where I could see it. I did not hide it. I looked at it like a reminder. You are not invincible. I started walking after dinner. Some nights it was cold rain. Some nights the wind cut through my hands until they went numb. I still walked, slow, nothing heroic. I walked to feel my feet still hitting the ground. I walked to remind myself, I can still do this. Do not waste it. I started calling my kids, not to ask what they earned or what they achieved, but to ask one simple question. Are you okay today? And I practiced something I was never good at. I practiced being quiet. I practiced listening, not correcting, not lecturing, just listening. I started saying no to things that drained me, meetings that meant nothing, obligations that were just noise, commitments that sent me home with my body present, but my mind still trapped inside email and deadlines. And I started saying yes to things that warmed the house back up. I took my wife out for breakfast at the diner near our place. Just eggs, coffee, pancakes, nothing fancy. But the way she looked at me when I sat across from her, no phone in my hand, no eyes on a clock, that look made me realize how foolish I had been for decades. I played with my grandkids. I sat down on the floor even when my back complained and my joints popped. I sat down anyway, because I know there is a day coming when I will not be able to get down there at all. And when that day comes, I can offer all the money in the world, and it still will not buy back the sight of a little kid laughing, climbing all over you like you are their whole world. Maybe you are listening and thinking, this sounds nice, but I still have to live. I still have bills. I still have responsibilities. I understand. I am not telling you to throw everything away. I am telling you not to pay for the wrong things with the only currency you cannot earn back. You can make more money. You cannot make another Sunday. You cannot get back the sound of your parents' voices when they are still alive. You cannot get back your child's childhood. It goes by fast, like a car on the highway. You blink, and it is already down the road. Let me ask you something. Answer it in your own chest. If next week your health drops one notch, if you have to sit down and catch your breath just from a few steps, what will hurt the most? Not I should have worked more, but I should have called. I should have said it. I should have gone. I should have held them. If your parents are still here, call them today. You do not need perfect words. Just hear their voice and remind yourself they are still here. If you have an old friend, send a short message, I miss you. Sometimes one sentence like that can save a life from loneliness. Theirs and yours. If you have been putting off a checkup, make the appointment and go, because the price of a simple exam is always cheaper than the price of one night in the emergency room. I am 73 years old. I do not know how many years I have left. But I know this: the perfect time never comes. Life stays messy. Life stays busy. Life always gives you reasons to wait. And if you wait, You might wake up one day, look around, hear the house too quiet, see a phone full of names you no longer call, and finally understand how heavy the words "I wish I had" can be. Do not let that weight settle in your chest. Do one small thing today. Just one. Because the clock keeps moving. The second hand keeps hopping. It does not stop just because we are busy.